Hey everybody on this election Tuesday, how y'all doing? This is your life coach Joe Davis, and my beautiful co-host is
Trina Davis.
We're right here airing from www.intellectualradio.com, where intentionally we feed your brain. And you're listening to Words to Live By.
Yes.
We equip, encourage, and empower you to live your best life. And we want you to live it right now. Listen, this has been a great day. I'm wondering who won the race for president.
Yes, the primary election is today here in Illinois. And it was some interesting people on the ballot.
Yes, it really was. Some people.
Well, praise the Lord.
Who did you vote for?
Who did I vote for? I will not tell.
You will not tell?
I will not tell. I will not tell.
It's personal?
It is.
Are you a Republican
but
or a Democrat?
all you need to know is that I did exercise my rights.
I need to know?
Yes, because you're not the only person listening.
You'll tell me.
The world needs to know that I did exercise my right.
You'll tell me during pillow talk.
Okay.
Who you voted for.
Okay.
All right. Well, I voted.
Good.
And I voted for one of them.
Good.
And I don't know. You think anybody did the write-in thing for Fred Collins?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
Right in and win.
They went right in and win. We'll see.
I'm telling you, and they said Danny Davis, bye-bye. But I don't think so. Danny Davis was not the least bit worried. He said, I don't even have to do any commercials. I don't have to do anything. All I saw was flyers on Danny Davis. Have you seen any commercials?
I've heard some on the AM and FM radio stations.
Okay.
I've heard some.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he spent very little money though.
He doesn't have to.
He don't worry about it.
He don't have to spend no money.
He figures I'm implanted in the minds of the people.
Danny Davis has been there since he was 12.
Okay. And he's 112
right.
now.
And yeah, that's it.
But Fred Collins has been here several times.
Yes.
And speaking his message. And
we wish him luck.
We wish him well.
Absolutely.
I hope he does a good job. I don't know if I wrote in. I can't tell you. I can't tell you. Not on the show.
Right.
It ain't nobody's business.
Correct.
But he did say right in and win. I had some people call me though and said, "What's the man name?"
Good
I said
That's
Fred
good.
Collins.
That's good.
Or FC. If you can't remember Fred, remember FC. So I did have some people to call me.
Good.
You know. But what do you think is going to happen tonight? Do you think it's going to be Biden, Hillary, Trump, Rubio? Who do you think it's going to be?
Well, I can tell you who I don't want it to be.
Okay, tell me who you don't want it to be.
I don't want it to be Trump.
Because?
For the Republican nomination. I don't want it to be Trump, which I think it will be for the Republican nomination, because Trump is crazy. And I believe, and this is my opinion, this is not the opinion of IntellectualRadio.com, but this is my opinion. Neither is the opinion of Words to Live.
Do you think Earl Winfrey voted today?
Yes.
You think he did?
Yes, I think he did. But I don't want Trump to win because Trump is crazy.
Okay.
And he will get the other foreign country or the other his international connections. He will get us killed because of his mouth. Because of his mouth.
And I just heard you are speaking intellectual.
His mouth gonna have us all under the table somewhere. They'll be pushing the button. Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, I tell you, this has been a very interesting election. I mean, because it has been a mudslinging. People have been called pedophiles.
Yes. Well, it has to be. That's juicy stuff. You gotta have, you got to have that for a good election. If you don't have all that stuff, then people, you don't get, followers, people on your side.
Why was people like Willie Wilson not included in any of the debates?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Again, this is not the opinion of IntellectualRadio.com or
Okay.
Words to Live By.
Okay.
In my opinion,
In your opinion.
Reverend Dr. Elder Entrepreneur, Philanthropist Willie Wilson was not included in debates because they were not going to understand what he was going to say.
Oh.
So they didn't invite him. There was no interpreter
But you know,
to figure out what he's going to say.
weeks ago, I saw a preacher on Facebook that said, I am going to support Willie Wilson because Willie Wilson is self-made. He's a self-made millionaire or whatever. And I just knew then that the man wanted some of Willie Wilson's money. And he probably will get some.
Get some.
Yeah.
Willie Wilson's not going to win.
Do you think he'll have do you think Willie Wilson will have at least an honorable mention?
He got what he got enough. He was on the ballot and like real close up to the top. So
he was really on the ballot.
He was before Bernie.
Did you vote for him?
Huh?
Did you vote for him?
I did I exercised my right to vote. And now I'm going to exercise my right not to speak about it.
You are listening. You are listening to IntellectualRadio.com. I am your life coach, Joe Davis, and my beautiful co-host is
Trina Davis.
Listen, for several weeks we've been having guests on the show, and tonight we are by ourselves.
Yes,
I'm telling you,
and that's good.
And we got on black
uniform,
black power.
Yep.
Did all the people vote? All the black people vote today?
That's why we got on black.
We had good weather.
Yeah.
There was no excuse.
None.
No excuse whatsoever.
None.
You know, I had a very, very proud moment today. I walked in the polling place with two of my children and my wife. It was such a family affair. I loved it.
Correct.
It was a great thing.
Really good.
And then my elder son said that he voted today, and my daughter in Cleveland said she voted today. So that's the whole family.
Yay.
We all voted.
I
love it. Yeah. So I hope that other families did the same thing.
Family that vote together get to survive together.
Yeah, that's what we get to do. We get to survive together. But you know what? Maybe somebody will buy us a steak because we voted. You think Jesse Jackson will buy us a steak tonight?
No.
No?
No.
But he's a get the vote out era.
I understand. But he's done. The polls are closed. He's not doing nothing else tonight.
Nothing else? Hey, you know, I saw Ira Ackery's name on as a delegate.
Yes.
Did you see that?
I did. He's
did you vote for him?
Delegate for Hillary Clinton.
Did you vote for him?
I am still exercising my right.
Oh, okay.
to be private. You know, they give you the sheet when you use the paper ballot. They give you a privacy sheet.
Okay.
So nobody will look at what you're doing.
All right.
So my conversation is my privacy sheet.
Okay.
So I won't tell what I did.
The only way I'll know who you voted for is to take you to the bedroom. And
so today on Words to Live By, you will be equipped, encouraged, and empowered to live your best life. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that would be a better life. Taking you to the room. I mean, you know. Well, you did say take you to the king, didn't you? I am the king.
No, that was Tamala, man.
But I am the king.
Okay.
Don't get it twisted.
Okay.
Yes. Well, listen, tonight, you know what we're going to talk about? When we come back, we are going to discuss why is there a decline in attendance at churches in the 21st century. We're going to talk about that when we come back.
Yep.
We'll be right back. You're listening to Words to Live By on IntellectualRadio.com. We'll be right back.
When you hurt and when in pain, when you're in sorrow and moments of shame, know that God will carry you through. After separation, and after discrimination, after any downfall, and when there's no one to call, know that God will carry you through. Know that God will carry you through. When in crisis and tangled in Satan's vices, when downtrodden and seems you've been forgotten, oh, God will carry you through. Oh, after friends forsake you and happiness escapes you, after any downfall, and when there is no one to call, just know God will carry you through your storm and the rain, through sickness and pain. Just know that God will carry you through. He's looking from above. Nothing can separate you from His love. Just know that God will carry you through.
Hey everybody, this is your life coach Joe Davis, and I'm right here with my beautiful co-host.
I'm Trina Davis.
And we were talking about why.
Why?
I really want to know why.
Why
Is there a decline in church attendance in 2016, this 21st century? Well, I don't know, but a lot of churches are struggling with membership, and a lot of churches are struggling with who shows up on Sunday morning. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think one of the reasons is because of the change of the times. We have more options now. Back in the day, you went to church, you went to school, or you went to work. And that was it.
Well, we went to the theater. So I remember if we went to church, we were good kids. We went to church. Mama gave us a quarter, and we went to the theater. That was the incentive. If you went to church, after church, you can go to the show, the picture show. Well, she's, ladies and gentlemen, she is because she never heard of the theater of being.
I have heard of the theater being called the picture show, but that it just puts you in a certain.
Puts me in a certain category.
Yeah.
Not you.
No, because they didn't call it picture show.
But I snatched you in my category.
I understand.
And they did not call.
They did not call it the picture show then. When I was going, it was still the movies.
Okay. Well, so church was full.
Right.
When I was a kid.
Yeah.
And
it was full when I was a kid. We went to church all the time, all day Sunday. You get your super transfer. Look here.
Yeah.
You get your super transfer and you just go.
You just went
to have me in church till you just couldn't go no more.
From 9 o'clock in the morning to 9 or 10 at night.
Absolutely.
You were dog tired when you got home, but you loved
enjoyed
it.
But now we got stuff to do.
We had stuff to do then.
No, we didn't. We had church to do.
Okay, now we got stuff.
We got other stuff to do.
So what is the stuff in comparison to church?
Well, because we have so many different options.
We can go shopping.
We can go shopping at a church on Sunday. You can do all kinds of stuff. They got tennis. Restaurants. They got brunches on Sundays. You can do golfing on Sundays. It's
not to mention you don't have to go to church at all. You can have church online.
You're right,
and you can pay your tithes online.
So exactly is what I'm saying. There are too many options.
Okay. So that's why the decline in church
That's what I think one reason is. One reason is because we have a lot of options. And another reason that I think is because the trust of the clergy is not as strong as it used to be.
Oh,
So people exercise those other options because the clergy is not as trustworthy in the eyes of people anymore as
well,
they used to be.
now let me say this, and I want you to hear me well,
Mhm.
and all of those that are in internet land. I think the church clergy is what it is, and it's still what it has been. I think the difference is you get to know the dirt on the preacher 2 minutes after he do the dirt.
Mhm.
When it used to be at least a month, it would take a month for it to travel.
Mhm.
But with email, with social media,
Mhm.
everything is instant.
Right.
So there are no secrets.
Right.
The people are posting
Mhm.
stuff on uh,
Right.
social media, and we just hear about scandals so frequent and so quickly.
Right. So that's why I'm saying that not whose end it falls on, but because there's a trust issue there, people opt out of going.
And then nowadays there are bloggers that's saying things about church and
Mhm.
saying things about pastors.
Mhm.
Every time a pastor preaches on Sunday, there's a YouTuber that'll say, "Well, he ain't nothing because
Mhm.
he's doing this and he's doing that." I
Mhm.
mean, it's like somebody's right there to expose the preacher.
Mhm. And like you were saying, it's nothing new. This it's not new stuff.
It's
That
just in your
it's
face
you
now.
can yeah. It's just a matter of clicking and or a matter of posting or a matter of just one button pushed and then everybody knows about it. Versus it will used to be hush hush.
Right.
Not that there are new actions or new things
It's
that
the
the
same
clergy is doing.
thing.
They're doing the same stuff,
Right.
but now it just everybody knows about it. It used to be a shame to talk about the preacher. It
Yeah.
used to be you were
You
scared
are
to say
afraid to
something.
talk
Right,
about the
right,
man of God.
right,
Not now.
right. Not now.
He's just a
A man.
man.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's no, but I'll tell you something else too. The family, my mom and dad taught me to honor the preacher
Hmm.
as I was coming up.
Hmm.
I don't see that in the church anymore,
Hmm.
where the parents are teaching the children to honor the preacher. The word out on the preacher is not, well, you know what, I put my pants on just like he put his on,
Hmm.
one leg at a time.
Hmm.
There's no honor for the preacher, and while there are some preachers that may not be deserving of that honor,
Hmm.
I believe there are others that really do.
Hmm.
And I think that when you lump everybody in the same barrel, that's
It makes it bad for everybody.
and then it's unfair.
Hmm.
It's unfair, but that's what we do. Those preachers ain't no good.
Hmm.
Not one, but those preachers.
Hmm.
But today we are finding that the preacher of yesterday at least appeared to be strong.
Hmm.
Now today we're finding that preachers might be weak and dealing with mental illness,
Hmm.
various stresses,
Hmm.
even to the point of killing themselves.
Right.
So the church has gotten on shaky ground.
Hmm.
So some people literally say, "I ain't got time for that,"
Right.
and they don't even go.
Hmm.
If you are listening to us tonight and you have some comments, I would really like for you to share.
Hmm.
I hope we can get some call ins.
Hmm.
708
223
89
53.
708
223
89.
53.
If you have any comments,
Hmm.
we welcome them tonight
Absolutely.
because I'd just like to know what's your take on it,
Hmm.
because there's a decline in church attendance.
Absolutely.
I mean, it used to be a time where you could go to musicals
Hmm.
and they are jam packed and you couldn't get in or you're standing on the wall.
Hmm.
Now you can play basketball
And don't
in
hit
there and
nobody.
not hit anybody.
Uh-huh.
That's how empty it is because people are finding other things to do.
Other things to do. Also, I think when I was talking about that people have other options, it's also that there are other options as to they can go to another church. I think it's so many different churches, many different things.
Hmm.
Till it's wherever it's convenient.
Well, yeah, people want things to be at their fingertips now. They want it to be convenient for
Hmm.
them. There are some churches that have pickup and drop off
Hmm.
points. People don't have to use their gas to get
Hmm.
there, things like that. And then there are some people, some churches are thriving well
Hmm.
in the 21st century because they're offering a great number of things and they
Hmm.
have a great marketing strategy.
Hmm.
It is not just years ago we used to knock on doors and say, "Will you come to my church?"
Hmm.
Nowadays, it's an elaborate marketing strategy
Right.
that gets you to church.
Hmm.
And, there are people now, when people come in town or perhaps when they move to a city, they get on the internet
Hmm.
and they search for your website
Right.
to see what you're offering and what you're all about. So
Absolutely.
church now is a brand.
Hmm.
And if you're not branding properly,
You're losing.
ain't nobody coming to your church.
Absolutely.
If you don't have any representation and if you're not building your brand, you're not going to be the man.
Right. And sometimes, a lot of times, rather, people who are what I call still stuck in tradition get offended by words like marketing and branding, and that's not what the church is about. Yes, it is.
It
Yes, it is.
certainly
You
is.
have to move with the times.
You're not gonna have nothing to be about.
You have to move with the times. I mean, you have to in order for you to stay relevant and stay, in the thick of it and in the now, you got to be doing what's happening now. Not that you have to compromise your method or your message, rather, but you do have to keep up with the times so that people can come to hear your message. Nobody's
Absolutely.
coming to your church if they can't Google and find out
Absolutely.
because everything is on the internet.
And even Jesus changed his methods.
Yep,
He didn't change the message, but he certainly changed the method.
absolutely.
And we have to keep up.
Hmm.
Not only that, but you know what? It doesn't happen everywhere. But when it happens, it's major.
Hmm.
The misappropriation of monies
Hmm.
in the church. It has been linked so many times to the preacher.
Hmm.
And even when it's linked to the deacon, the people don't frown as much. But if it's the preacher that
Hmm.
stole the money
Hmm.
and left town, we've heard that so many times. How
Yes.
preachers have stole the money, left town, left the church, abandoned the church. People
Hmm.
don't have a pastor,
Hmm.
and then many times sold the building out from under the people
Hmm.
and spent the money and gone on about his business.
Right.
And people are hurt, torn, and they've had their life tied up in the ministry for many years.
Hmm.
They've spent their hard-earned money, and they've sold a chicken dinners, fish dinners, did
They didn't
everything.
pay their bills to make sure the church bills were
And
paid.
you took
What
the
sacrifice?
church and sold the church.
Yep.
Now, I just heard of a situation the other day where people came to church and the pastor told them, "This is the last week here."
Hmm.
And the people were crying and hurt and upset, and he just dissolved the church. It was a small membership,
There's
but
nothing they could do. They could do about
they couldn't do anything about it. He owned the building.
it. Hmm.
There was nothing that they could do about it. So now they're scattered and going. The few of them that were there are
Hmm.
scattered and going to various churches, but they are truly hurt
Of course.
because they've been in this place 40 years.
Hmm.
How do you do that to people?
Uh, to me, that's heartless.
Yeah,
It's heartless. You are revealing that you not who you have proclaimed to be,
yeah.
because uh, because the scripture clearly teaches woe to the man who scatters the
Scatter my
sheep.
flock.
So you've done that.
Yeah.
What you've done that, and so there's a question: what if you couldn't afford it anymore? So you come to the church
You come to the
and
church.
say, "This is the predicament that we're
This
in."
is where we are. What do you want to do about it?
Right.
The easy way out is to shut it down.
Hmm.
We can merge with somebody else. But I care enough about all of you to not just leave you hanging.
Absolutely. That's the key point. some of us are in ministry for the wrong reasons. We're supposed to be building up the body. We're supposed to be using our gifts and our callings and our position is supposed to edify the body, to build up the saints, not to make our pockets fat, not to get our name out there. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. Now, if your gifts make that room for you, that's biblical, that's wonderful, that's okay. But your main job is to build people up. So if your actions are causing people not to be built up, then you're not operating correctly.
Not only that, but we have to think about, and a lot of pastors feel like, I want to be a mega church, I want to be a mega church, I want to be mega.
Nothing wrong with it.
Well, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be big. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
But however, that's not the norm.
Mm-hmm.
Most churches, people in churches, most churches have about 75 members.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the plateau of that church.
Mm-hmm.
And with 75 people, you're considered doing well.
Okay.
You're the average. It is very few mega churches.
Mm-hmm.
I know you hear about them and all of that, and they do publications and make things look elaborate and grand, but there's not many mega churches.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The average church has about 75 members. And so when the pastor compares himself to that mega church pastor, he becomes discouraged.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not reality.
Mm-hmm.
The average church is about 75 members. Mm-hmm. So I think that we need to know why we're in it.
Absolutely.
We need to truly be called to it. Mm-hmm. And if you're called to it, you will have passion for it. Mm-hmm. If you have passion for it, you're in it for the long haul.
Absolutely.
And you're building up the body.
Absolutely. I think a lot of times people stray or stay away from the church is because, people are not as in the shadow as we think they are. People are not as...
They're not stupid.
They're not stupid.
Right.
So they know when you're not real.
Yeah.
They know when you faking it. And nobody got time for that.
Not only that, but you know what? People have done so bad mm-hmm. that they don't believe in organized religion anymore.
Correct.
I don't want a man telling me nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I read my own Bible. Mm-hmm. I talk to God for myself. Mm-hmm. And the reason that is because they've been turned off mm-hmm. by the ecclesia.
Absolutely. Listen, we would love to hear from you if you have a question or comment concerning this topic. Call us at 708-223-8953. 708-223-8953.
Listen, when we come back, what we're going to do is try to figure out a remedy. Mm. How can we come back from being down and under? You're listening to Words to Live By on IntellectualRadio.com. I'm your life coach, Joe Davis. My beautiful co-host is
Trina Davis.
We'll be right back.
I'll go where you want me to go.
I'll go where you want me to go, and I'll be. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I'll say what you want me to say.
I'll say what you want me to say, and I'll be.
Whatever you want me to do, Lord, I'll try to. I trust you to see me through.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Conjunction.
No conjunction.
No conjunction.
No conjunction.
If you want me to climb the highest mountain, I'm climbing. If you want me to swim the deepest sea, I'm diving. But if you want me to jump, just tell me how high. And if you want me to stretch, just tell me how wide.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'll go
where you want me to go, and I'll be.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'll say what you want me to say.
I'll say what you want me to say, and I'll be.
Hey everybody. We're so glad to be back one more time. You're listening to Words to Live on IntellectualRadio.com, where intentionally we feed your brain. Did you know we were an iHeart station?
Yes, we are.
You know, I've been on iHeart.
We're big ballers.
Yes, I've been on iHeart, and that means that I've done less Yeah, that's all. So I try to remember not to say because if you don't say you'll get on iHeart. Yes, I'm your life coach, Joe Davis. My beautiful co-host is
Trina Davis.
We are trying to figure out how do we come back from the decline.
Right.
What do we do to get back? Well, we have to change the minds of people.
Okay.
That's the first thing we have to do, because people already are over it.
Yeah.
They are over it. They don't care no more. They can listen to their music at home, you know, with a tequila or something like that, and they preach their own gospel.
Yeah.
Here is key. I believe we can win the hearts of the people, but we got to be for the people.
Absolutely.
We got to be the church, and we have to be for the people, and we have to convince the people that we're for them, which means we've got to give of ourselves. We got to give our heart to the people and to the service of the Lord. And when you serve God, you're serving God through serving his people. If we begin to meet the needs of the people and make certain, and I'm not just talking about selling a pie in the sky,
right?
Talking about heaven. I'm talking about buying and helping people with food, helping people with clothing and shoes, helping people find jobs. If we are active doing those things, I believe we'll be restored. Because if you meet needs, you'll build relationships. And I think the church relationship need to be rebuilt.
I agree. I agree that the relationship needs to be rebuilt. I think another way to get the people, in addition to that, is I think we have to put the preacher back at the head. I think we have to show the levels of respect that we used to have for the preacher. We have to find a way to get that back, because people no longer respect the clergy. So it has to be something that we could do, or if preachers would live in front of people what they preach in front of people, that would draw people to regain their trust and their respect. But you have so many preachers that give a good message but leave the pulpit and go to the shindig with the same people he trying to get delivered from. And everybody can't handle that.
Well, here's what I think. I think that we have to teach the church that the pastor is a man. And I'm not making excuses. First, he's a man. He's anointed by God to preach the gospel, but he's a man. I believe that we have to help the man be the best he can be. How do we do that? He has to be accountable. It has been for years that y'all be accountable, but not me. But he has to have some accountability partners that keeps them on the straight and narrow.
I agree with that.
He has to have that. The people have to see that this is what's happening. And as he becomes more and more consistent, trust can be regained. But it has to be across the board. It can't just be in one church. It has to be in churches across America.
Okay.
I don't think it's impossible. But I do think it will take a lot of work, because people already have their notion, their preconceived notion. They already, and then sometimes the way we look, the way we dress is signaling a message.
Mm-hmm.
And then we as men preachers, when you have congregations, you're going to have a little bit of everybody in the congregation.
Correct.
You're going to have good women, you're going to have bad women, you're going to have weak women, you're going to have strong women. You're going to have pretty women, you're going to have not so pretty women. But you got to be disciplined, man. Just because you see a fine, dense Marilyn Monroe type woman, you can't be stepping to her.
Right.
You can't be stepping to the woman. You got to be the pastor. She has to be your daughter in ministry. You have to look at it like, if I touch this woman, this is incest. That has to be the mindset of the preacher. That doesn't mean that a preacher don't have a desire for anybody, but he has to honor his vows. I don't think he should pastor if he's not married, because that's too much temptation. It's too much. He too free to do whatever. I think he needs to be married. I think he needs to be seasoned, and his marriage should show promise. He shouldn't be married for 2 years and talk about he gonna pastor nobody. He should be married a significant amount of time. His marriage should be investigated before we call him to the pastorate, because we want to make sure that he is going to do what the man of God does. If he cannot handle, if you know what your weakness is, you don't need to be shut up in a room counseling no fine woman if women are your weakness. You need the oldest, ugly, 85-year-old mother of the church to be sitting right there with you, so she can be there and say, no, I was in there. He didn't touch that woman. But you need some accountability partners, and you can't do it all by yourself, because you might get weak, the woman might get weak, and nothing good is going to come out of the sin. Nothing. So in an effort to rebuild faith and trust, we got to walk a chalk line. And the man of God can't be, well, this is my office. I let in my office who I want. No, it's got to go back to, this is God's house. This is God's building. This is God's pulpit. The ground that I'm walking on is holy ground. Take your shoes off. It's got to be a reverential honor to the house of God, and then to the people of God, and to God himself. I believe if we get there, and if each preacher reach another preacher, we can restore trust back in the church, and churches will fill up again.
I absolutely agree. I think that I think that we're pretty much saying the same thing. However, I definitely think that we ought to have accountability partners. I don't think they need to be the church that you pastor. They can't be your accountability partners. You need,
because you might end up manipulating them. I agree with that.
I think that part of the low attendance problem is we have for so long. We used to have the preacher up here till the preacher started preaching, I'm a man like you. So then people start thinking the preacher is on their level. Okay, you say you put your pants on like I put my pants on, or you bleed what I bleed. So now we start equalizing the preacher. So then it's not, I look up to you. It's like, you ain't no better than I am. So it's easy for me to carry a rumor that I heard. It's easy for me to lose respect or trust when I hear something, versus before, not that you made the preacher God, but you respected the office so much, you didn't see anything wrong. And when you saw the wrongdoing, it was harder for you to believe it, versus listening to somebody tell you, I'm a man just like you are. Don't forget, I'm a man like you are. So then it makes them easier to accept whatever the dirt is, versus, them putting you at the level that should be respected. I think we've spent a lot of, meaning, the clergy world over, have spent a lot of time trying to make people feel comfortable, trying to make people feel like, that we're all in it together. We're all human. We're all, God loves us all, which is true. But we've taken the focus off of the honor of the office and made it just like you just like a man, just like I am. So people don't give the same respect. And it's hard to get that respect. It's hard to get that trust back. It's hard to get that relationship back again where they esteem you where you should be. And now it's just like,
I believe that the preacher should be esteemed in his office. I think the office of the preacher is a great office, as the office of the prophet, as the office of the apostle. I think those are great offices. I also think that we should not abuse our office.
Correct.
Because God does hold us to a higher standard, and because He holds us to a higher standard, we are a higher standard. So we should. We're not God,
right.
but we are His men, and we are His representation in the earth. So you should look up to the preacher. However, the preacher should have earned that right for you to look up to him. The way he does that, no, he's not perfect. But the way he does that, he chooses his battles. His life has to be open. He has to be an open book. He cannot be living double lives. And because here's the key, what's done in the dark eventually will show in the light. And you will end up hurting a lot of people. A lot of people have church hurt right now, and they just have forget it. I'm not even going. And they don't go. And they say, oh, this church thing is a bunch of malarkey. You know, I can buy me 2 suits and a steak. I ain't got to pay no tithes to no church. I ain't got to do that. So we can get it back, but God has to be at the forefront of it, and we gotta honor the office that God gives us. You gotta honor the office. You know what? My daddy wouldn't be found in my house smoking a blunt when I was a kid. He honored his office as the father. My mama would not be found taking a drink in front of her children. In fact, your mom said, even with you being the age you are now, your mom said, I don't party with my girls.
Right.
You're 40 plus years old, but your mama is not going to a party with you.
That's right.
That's because she honors her office as your mom. There ought to be some separation there. You know, and some people will say, well, okay, now she's 40 plus years old and she can't party with you. No, she can't never party with me.
Correct.
Because I'm her mother.
Right. Exactly what I'm saying. She didn't have to do anything to earn that trust. Her position alone calls for honor.
Trustworthy.
Her position alone calls for honor. The clergy, to me, the calling alone, you should be honored because of the calling. You can do things to break the trust.
Honor doesn't just come. Honor is taught. Let me tell you why. Even a small child that's a year old, Johnny, stop doing that. I'm your mother. Listen, that's taught. That's honor being taught.
But you honored the position.
Yes, you
I'm
did.
your mother.
I totally agree with you. What I'm saying to you is this: somebody at home has to say, the preacher, you have to respect the preacher. See, the preacher used to come to the house. The only way the preacher was paid years ago was that he came to the house with food. He came to your house and he sit at the head table, and mama had already told the kids before the preacher got there, okay, he gonna eat first. And whatever he want, he gonna get to eat, and then we gonna eat later. And I'm gonna give you a little something to eat before you get here, because don't act like you starving when the preacher comes.
Right.
Honor. That's taught. And it's built up. Nowadays, people don't honor the preacher because, number one, babies having babies. Babies having babies. So the 14-year-old girl don't know nothing about teaching her child how to honor. Number one. Number two, the baby might be the preacher's. So what we have to do is get back to a place where it's God and God in the family and God and the family. When we do that and teach honor again and teach people how to restore the preacher and that every preacher is not bad, and just like every cop is not bad, every doctor is not bad, every lawyer is not bad, we can't just say they're all bad because there has been an experience. And even one that has had fallen or is in a fault, he can be restored. He can be restored because if he can't never be restored, then that means God can't fix it. And I know that's not true. So we're gonna have to do a segment on the psychology of the church because the church has to heal, the church has to mend, and the church has to restore. So in an effort to do that, we've got to bring trust back. And I think at the helm of that is the ecclesia. You gotta walk and talk what you preach. You gotta practice what you preach.
Mm-hmm.
If you practice what you preach, then you'll be able to again reach.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
You've been listening to Words to Live by IntellectualRadio.com.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not out of answers,
What you are?
but I am out of time. Good night, everybody.
We send up the praises, Lord. We send up our praise.